G'day everybody, welcome back to Monday, which is my Sunday. Back to work for 8 days tomorrow, so I thought I'd come out and give you a bit of a summary about where we're at with a few projects. The Fergie has a starter issue. I think I might have found that with this spanner. Fergie's got a starter issue, Fiat's got a fuel issue. The Mazda's in getting its roadworthy done today. The flies are intense, it's hot, it's overcast, there's no rain coming for a week. So 10-minute summary of where we're at, so let's get on with it. So the Fergie was running okay, and I was all set to make a new video, just me and the dog today, and it stopped running. So we had a slow starter, so it would try and then not try. So we took the starter out, and it was okay, and it bench tested fine. But then we put it back in, and now it won't turn over. So what I have found this morning is, and I'll try and get the camera right. If I turn the key on, engage the starter mechanism, hopefully you can see the smoke coming off of that terminal. So we were losing between the battery and the starter, we were losing about 4 volts. So I'm going to tighten up those terminals a little bit and see if that makes any difference. Alright, so that made no difference at all. So my next challenge is to take this starter motor off again. It's very, very boring to watch, so I won't record it, but basically this wire comes off, these 2 bolts come out, and it should just pull out. It is a bit of a pig to get in and out, and I'm wondering if I've lined something up wrong. So we'll get that out and take a look at it. Oh, I should be able to get that one out by hand. Naturally, they're all easy to get to and simple to work out. There we go. Flies are very, very friendly today. Come on, you can do it. Alright, you have to put the camera down. Give me a second. Righto, so bolts are out. We'll try and do this one-handed, which is going to be interesting because it appears as though it is stuck. This might explain why it's hard to get in and out. Or maybe it won't turn. There we go. Oh. At least got it to spin a little bit. Nothing's ever easy. Oh. Starter motor out. I don't know what is going on with this thing. Everything in here looks good. There's no obstruction there. And like I said, this thing bench tested well. Spins, goes round and round. But you put it in a hole and it doesn't do anything. Don't know why. Maybe it's just not. My thought is that maybe when I'm putting it in, I'm doing this with it or jamming it, and it won't actually line up right. So anyway, gonna buy a new one. I'll probably buy a new switch for the starter mechanism, and then we'll have another go. The other job I need to do for this tractor is to buy a new one of these arms, as I need a longer one because the Fergies are a very long arm, so that's a job for another day. But I might have a crack and see if those ends fit in that centre pipe. We might be able to save some money. It would be nice if something just worked for a change. We might be winning here. First time for everything. Be nice to save a few dollars instead of having to buy something else new. I know. It's that bit. Okay, so that's going to work. So the goal with this plough is to have the front of it rolled up and the back of it rolled down. And to do that, I had to make this top link longer. But it now also means I need to lengthen that chain there and lengthen that chain there. And that's fine, but that's a job for another day, because until the thing starts, I can get it to run. Well, it is what it is. So I'm going to take the starter motor back into town, open it up again, bench test it again, and then, yeah, I'm still going to buy a new one, I think. Righto, Fergie's still dead in the water. We'll go back to the Fiat next. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. I just want to see if it spins out here. Yes, it does. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a new starter. Enough talking about this one, let's go. Okay, so the next mechanical challenge in my life is the Fiat. It was running quite well on Sunday and then started to backfire and burp and was clearly getting too much fuel. Now, if you remember in the past, we had some issues with this float valve. So it's sat here for 2 days, the fuel's been off. I've got a couple of fresh batteries. We'll hook them in and away we go. The Italians, in all their wisdom, made this a 24 volt tractor, which sounds really good in principle, but in reality is an actual pain in the ass, because to hook up the two batteries means you've got to put a cable under there and then manage to somehow do all the bolts up. So I'll get them in position, we'll walk you through it and we'll try and start it again. Righto, so negative to chassis, positive across to negative, positive to starter. So at this point it should in theory start, or at least turn over. Two fresh batteries. I might just take the hood down, put this battery support back in, and of course the official jam it in, keep it all nice and tidy rag. So I'm still making the brackets to hold the batteries in. It's low stress. So key on, one click, got a red light, that's a good sign. That's also a good sign. battery. One click, start. Okay, so we seem to have fixed this problem. I replaced the yellow and blue battery. It was dropping voltage, so it can go to the dump. This tractor will live under this tree. Yes, it has some tyre issues. No, I'm not replacing them yet. So this tractor will live here. I do still have to do some slashing, but it's so dry at the minute that if I slash and cause a fire and burn out everybody's properties, I'll be in some trouble. So for now, 8 days back at work. I'll come back in 8 days and see if it starts. If it does, it means the batteries aren't dropping charge through the system, which would be nice, and we'll go from there. I do have a solar panel for this tractor, but I want to see what the batteries do. Yeah, so that's that problem fixed. I guess we'll go to the next one. No, there is no next problem. We've got to empty the tanks, go back into town, see how the Mazda's going, and I'll show you the flower, and that'll probably do us for the day. And yeah, it's very, very dry. As you can see, all the trees are still growing. We've got some new bulbs on the go. I might go for a walk actually. I'll show you some new bulbs. So these bulbs were planted a week or so ago between the trees. They haven't quite come up yet in some places, but in other places he said hoping he can find one to show you. Somewhere over here. We just need rain. Send rain. Wherever you are in the world, send rain. New South Wales. No, I can't find any. I'll go over this way. Yeah, so as you can see, very, very dry. Even the weeds are dying, which is a sign. We're watering every second day. We're still watering by hand. So an update on the bore. Still sitting with New South Wales Water. That's the process. Happy to support it. Everybody works under the same rules. I might have a leak there, looking at how green that is. Come over to this way. Have a look at some bulbs. So that's not a bulb, that's a weed. Here's one of last year's bulbs. So we're budgeting last year's bulb plus a new one, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from that bulb there. So we're 5 up. There's another one from last year. But here we have none yet. So again, rain will make a huge difference. We've had some rabbits digging in here. There's a bulb growing in there. Here's last year's bulb and last year's bulb. And then over here we have a this year's bulb because these were planted new. And they're going well. Yes, more water would be great, but they're still growing. We have mowed in between the first 2 rows. That's where the ranunculus were between the trees, and they're all dead now, or they've all retreated back into the ground. So we've mowed that row with the new mower. It went really, really well. I do have to watch that I don't mow the irrigation line. And then we stood Claire's tree up. We had some 75 km/h winds through here the other night, and we knew this tree was probably going to need staking. It has, but the trees themselves are growing well. Oh, dog's after a bird again. One of the interesting things we've got going on, apart from the fact that everything's still alive, is that the trees are still actively expanding. And by that, and I'll try and find some for you, you can see here the little yellow bumps here at the end of my finger. That's all new growth, and it's very exciting. This is one of the trees from last year that was in a pot. So this tree's about 2 years old, as are most of these through here. There's a 1.5-year-old there and a 1-year-old there. And there's a 2-year-old dog over there barking his woofer off. Here's another example of a bulb that's going out of control. So this was 1 bulb last year, and this year is, well, more than 10. Will they all flower this year? Don't know. We'll find out. So, all right, well, I've got to walk back over to the car, drop the water in that tank up there, and the tank over there, and then back into town to the flower ute. Don't go away. One of the many jobs that I've bought that $315 little slasher mower for was to clean up around the dam. As you can see, we've been started around the base. I do have to run the mower up and down. I'm going to make an episode just on the dam clean up when I'll finish work next week. I still have to mow the outside, and I want to mow the first probably 3 feet down on the inside because it'll make it look better. And we started to clean it out. So my father-in-law backed the backhoe up into here, and this was still really damp about a week ago, and it's still drying out. So I'm going to do the same again. I'll back the backhoe in and then scoop it out. And I'll probably only go down to about this level. It's still fairly damp, it's still fairly sticky, because I'm not trying to make the dam super big. I just wanted to clean the bottom out. I'm not sure where that comes from. Pretty sure it's not from my tractor. At least I'm hoping it's not from my tractor. Oh, flies are friendly. And the dirt that comes out, I'm going to stick at the end of this spillway. So I want to try and lift the spillway from where the dirt is here across to that tree and just make it a bit taller, see if we can get the dam to hold a bit more. It'll probably have to be 6 to 10 feet wide. I've got plenty of dirt, and away we go. This is definitely not from my tractor. I think this has been under the dirt. And again, started to clean out around the outside. All that pile of green shit came from that tree, for the tractor tree, and overall some good. The dirt itself is probably not suitable for planting, but it'll definitely lock in for the dam wall a bit better. So, righto, let's keep going. flies are getting friendlier. Come on, Doc. So one of the good parts about getting 8 days at work is you get plenty of time to plan your 6 days off. What makes it even better is when you know what the next 6 days look like before you start the 8 days at work. So next week's jobs, I am hoping it's cooler next week to do some of this, because I need to relocate all of this stuff down the other end, except the trees. The trees are going to stay here. So here's the slasher mower. This thing's a beast. Very, very happy. 315 bucks it cost me, and it is going to get a cover, but it's for mowing around the dam and down the sides of the rows, and you can just pick that I've done this row here, so I don't have to get the slasher so close. Hey, dog. But I'm going to relocate all this stuff down to where all the tractors are now living in the middle of the block, except for the trees. So the trees are here for a reason. They get morning shade, good sunlight through the day, and early afternoon shade. And they're going all right. There's a few that I'm not super happy with. They do need a bit more water, and the weeds are becoming prolific. I need to bring the choppers out tonight and chop a few of them off. But they're growing, you know, they're here, they've got roots, they're growing. What's the problem? The problem is I can't plant them until I've got water, because there's no way I can hand water 4,500 trees in 25 rows by hand. It's just not viable. So these will stay here. They'll get watered every second or third day or fourth day, depending on how I go with work, because I have to come out after hours. And we'll just keep them alive. Some of them, there are still plenty of trees that don't have any roots. There's plenty of trees being dominated by weeds. Look at that bad boy. That's a chop job. So this tree here, I don't think this tree's alive. As you can see, no roots. So that weed there can piss off. Here's another one, no roots. That weed can piss off. So here's another one here that's dead, no roots. So, you know, there's another one. So when I say that I've got 4,500 trees, I mean that I've got, this one might not be dead. No, this one's got roots, check it out. So I need to find some dirt now to put that back in. Give me a sec. So that's what these trees are like. One minute you think they're dead and the next minute they've got roots. So this one here, yeah, everything's falling off it. It's been alive and it's definitely dead. So, but that's the when we're planting them stage. And then you get trees like this. This tree here is alive, that one's alive. Like, this whole tray, this one here is probably dead. Here's another one. Oh, sorry. All over. That'll look great on camera. That one's no good. That one's no good. That one's no good. That weed's going to have killed that one. Yep. That one there's, no, see, the leaves are staying on it. It's not fall off. Generally, if the leaves are green, if the leaves are green, they're all green. If the leaves fall off, it's dead. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 80 in that tray. So that's 74 that have survived. I've got new growth on this one down here. And that's a good tray, but we are getting trays that are less than good. So yeah, this whole pile, these racks, this cube, it's all going to relocate. next break. And they're going to go over there. So, oh, my tank's full. Hang on, got to run. And that's the risk with going for a walk and having a talk. Alright, so I'll put the flower ute at the back of this. The question is, from everybody, what happens next? We keep growing stuff, but what happens if we don't get the water? Well, we're confident we'll get the water, but it just takes time. The next 3 months for us is very simple. Water until we can put the irrigation system in, then plant trees, and then harvest flowers, and then it's Christmas time. In terms of the channel, I've got to get the bongo sorted. It's our fire truck, so I can't really slash or do anything that involves sparks until I have a fire truck here and readily available. So the bongos, next break, I've got a choke cable coming. I've got to find a brake fluid leak, yay, more brakes, and start getting the IBC in it and the pump mounted and all that sort of stuff. So that's coming. In terms of tractors, I've still got over there a Fergie without a starter motor, and that might take a couple of weeks to get in, and the starter switch to get in. And I've got a wiring issue I just found with looks like a broken earth cable, but I don't think it's related. But that's the Fergie. The Fiat, obviously we just need to see if that's going to start again. Looks beautiful under that tree. And the backhoe, we've got a dam job to do, and also we'll spin around a bit further over here. Yeah, there. I've got to start building the tank pad for the first tank. So one tank is going to feed all of the northern section of the block, which is a bit exciting, turning on one tap instead of 10. So yeah, that's about where it's at. 3 months of water, plant, harvest, and routine. Go to work, have days off, go to work, have days off, go to work, have 3 weeks off. I'm excited. In November we're actually going to have a holiday. We've got 10 days off, but it'll be right in the middle of harvesting season, so we'll see how we go. No other news other than that. Thank you for watching. We're at 820 odd subscribers. Happy days. I'm happy to have one. 820 is a huge number for me. Dog's good, life's good. Got some fancy new specs, which I'm still getting used to because I can't see me very well. And things are growing. So from Mother's Ruin, thank you. And next up will be a quick walk around the flower ute and we'll wrap it up. It's a bit long today. That's life. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. See you next time. So this is the flower ute. It's a 2008 Holden Rodeo RA Rodeo, 4x2, 2.4 litre 4-cylinder petrol. It didn't come with the fridge box on the back. We bought the fridge box. We don't have the compressor and control unit for the thermal 1400 F2. We're probably going to take that off and put a Guchin 12 volt electric cooling unit from China on the front. That's a different episode because I'm going to have to fit it. The ute, it came with the standard 185 R14Cs, which are load rated 8-ply radius tyres, and they're ugly. So I bought some wheels for it, but they only have retreads on them. So one of the things with the Rodeos is because they have such tiny wheels on them, they, one, look ugly, and two, it revs its ring out. So I want a bigger profile. So my problem is I can't get 215 R16s, I can only get 205 R16s, and it makes the radius too tall. So they become too tall and therefore the gearing's all wrong. The ute itself, done 198,000 Ks or 199,000 Ks, is registered. Comes with upgraded jukebox the aircon gets regassed, and seat covers, which I don't like seat covers, but they're there and they can stay there for now. In terms of the power plant, prepare yourself. It isn't real scary. It's a 2.4 cylinder, 2.4 litre 4-cylinder petrol, non-turbo. It's got about 6 horsepower, and when you turn the air conditioning on, you've got about 4 horsepower. So it's got the world's biggest battery for the world's smallest engine, and that's fine. So especially if I'm going to run a 12-volt fridge off the back, I do have to replace the airbox. It's cracked underneath, and it does have a noise in first and fifth and reverse in the gearbox, but that's all right. It is what it is. Had to replace a wheel bearing, and haven't worked out how to tie the box on yet. So for now, it's just 2.5 ton straps. Let's be serious, if you have an incident with that bit on the back, with that bit on the front, it's going to end badly. So the flower ute, we're probably a month off needing it, so there's a few little jobs to do. Tyres, aircon regas, the box is fine. In terms of the box, had to tighten a few bolts up on the door, and obviously give it a bit of a clean. It's way taller than we need. We only probably need it to be this tall, but it is what it is. That unit will come out unless I can find a 12-volt electric compressor that I can power that with, and a control unit to go with it. I haven't given up, but anyway, that's the flower ute. I'm going to take that tyre off down to the tyre shop and see what they can do for me, and we'll see you next time.